You wake up. Your eyes are open. You can see your room, the ceiling, the lamp, the window. But you cannot move. Not your hands, not your feet, not even your fingers. And then, something sits on your chest. Heavy, deliberate. Something that knows exactly what it is doing. You want to scream. Your mouth won't open. This happened to me every single night for 8 months. The doctors had a name for it. They called it sleep paralysis. They said it was neurological. They said the brain misfires during REM sleep. They gave me a clinical explanation and sent me home. But they weren't in my room at 3 a.m. They didn't see what I saw sitting in the corner. They didn't hear what it whispered. And they weren't there the night I finally whispered back. The first night. It started in January. I had just moved into a new apartment. New city. New job. New life. I was 29, exhausted from the move, and I fell asleep almost immediately that first night. At 3:12 a.m., I woke up, completely awake, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling, and I could not move. Not a single muscle in my body responded. I tried to sit up, nothing. I tried to turn my head, nothing. I tried to call out. My mouth was sealed shut like something was pressing it closed from the outside. The panic that hit me in that moment, I don't have words large enough for it. Then I felt the weight on my chest, starting light, like a hand placed carefully, then growing heavier and heavier. Something was sitting on me. And then from the corner of the room, the darkest corner where no light reached, I saw it. A shape, not fully formed, but watching, still, patient, like it had been there for a very long time and planned to be there for much longer. I don't know how long it lasted. At some point my body unlocked. A gasp, a jerk, a desperate gulp of air, and I was alone in my room, heart hammering, completely alone. I told myself it was a dream. I told myself this once, because the next night it happened again. 8 months. Let me tell you what 8 months of this does to a person. By March, I was afraid to sleep. I would sit up until 2 a.m., fighting it, then crash from exhaustion, only to be woken at 3. By May, I had lost 17 pounds. My hands shook during meetings. My coworkers asked if I was sick. I went to a doctor. Sleep paralysis, she said. Extremely common. Stress-related. She recommended meditation and a consistent sleep schedule. I did not tell her about the shape in the corner. I did not tell her what it had started doing, because by May, it had started to whisper. Not words I could understand, more like pressure behind my ears, like something speaking a language that my brain translated not into words, but into feelings. Dread, worthlessness, the specific feeling that nothing I did mattered, that I was already lost. By July, I had stopped calling my family. I had stopped seeing friends. The apartment had become the whole world, me and whatever came at 3 a.m. The shape had gotten closer over the months. It no longer waited in the corner. By August, it stood directly beside the bed, close enough that if it had breath, I would have felt it on my face. The night I broke. It was a Tuesday in September. I had been awake for 31 hours trying to outrun it. At some point, my body simply gave up and I fell asleep sitting at my kitchen table. I woke, paralyzed, in the kitchen chair. And the shape was there, in my kitchen, in the light, standing 3 feet in front of me where I could see it properly for the first time. I won't describe what I saw. I will say only this. It looked like it had always been there. Like it belonged in every room I had ever lived in. Like it had followed me, not just here, but from somewhere much further back. And the whisper came, louder than it had ever been, and this time I understood it. It said, "There is no one coming for you." And something in me, some last small part that hadn't given up, got angry. Not afraid, not desperate, angry, because I knew it was lying. I don't know where that knowing came from, I hadn't been to church since I was a child. I hadn't prayed in 15 years. But in that kitchen, paralyzed with that thing standing 3 feet away, I knew it was lying. And I did the only thing I could do. I prayed, not out loud. I couldn't speak. Silently. Completely. God, if you're there, I can't do this alone. Please. 3 words. Please. Me. What happened next? The shape didn't vanish dramatically. There was no flash of light, no thunder, no cinematic moment. What happened was simpler and somehow more terrifying in its certainty. The shape looked away from me, like something had entered the room that it recognized, something it had no answer for. The weight on my chest lifted. My body unlocked. I sat there at the kitchen table, breathing, just breathing, for a very long time. And then I got up, and I did something I hadn't done since childhood. I found a Bible app on my phone. I didn't own a physical one, and I typed the only verse I remembered from Sunday school 30 years ago, Psalm 91. I read it sitting at my kitchen table at 4 a.m. with tears I didn't know I had left. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. I read it 7 times. The shape did not come back that night. Closing narration. That was 19 months ago. The sleep paralysis has not returned. Not once. Not a single night. I own a Bible now. A physical one. It sits beside my bed. I read Psalm 91 every night before I sleep. Not because I'm afraid. Because I remember what happened when I finally stopped trying to face that thing alone and asked for help from something older and stronger than anything that had ever stood in my corner. I'm not here to tell you what you should believe. I'm here to tell you what happened to me. For 8 months, something came for me every night. And the night I whispered 3 words, please, help me. It never came back. The doctors were right about one thing. There is a name for what visited me every night. But it isn't sleep paralysis.